In my life, I have faced numerous challenges and moments of sorrow, but the pain of betrayal was an unexpected and devastating blow. It is heartbreaking to see years of hard work and affection disregarded. However, my journey is not only defined by betrayal, but also by the defense of honor and principles. It all began with a single name spoken by my wife, Grant. Before delving into the tale of the events that transpired between my wife, myself, and this individual, please remember to like my video and subscribe to my channel. My name is Caleb, a 52-year-old who has dedicated his life to establishing his own business. I lost my father at a young age, but through perseverance, I transformed a modest garage into the successful enterprise it is today. While my car dealership might not be extravagant, it is a testament to my dedication and hard work. I value my reputation for integrity above all else. My path intertwined with Ella's 25 years ago when she was a second-year law student. Her intellect, ambition, and resilience captivated me, and our love led us to marriage. Our life was far from perfect but stable. I worked tirelessly to support her through law school and raise our sons, Jake and Ryan. While she focused on her successful career, I took on the responsibilities of both parents. I dedicated myself to advancing my career and making my family happy. However, everything shifted last year when Ella received a lucrative offer at a prestigious law firm. She was elated about her new position under her impressive boss, Grant. Initially, I trusted her completely, despite the changes I observed: her refined attire, exotic scents, and secretive behavior with her phone. I convinced myself that work pressure was the cause, but gradually, my doubts began to grow as her work hours stretched, business dinners multiplied, and weekend engagements piled up. I found myself suffocating under the guise of tranquility she wore while evading my inquiries. The breaking point arrived on the night I gathered the courage to confront her. Patiently waiting for her return, I finally spoke up. "Ella, something isn't right, is it?" My voice was composed, yet turmoil raged within me. Initially evasive, she eventually confessed under my persistent questioning. Yes, she admitted, I've been having an affair with Grant. In that moment, my world crumbled. 25 years of marriage, the challenges of raising our children, all seemed to vanish instantly. What stung the most was her lack of remorse as she revealed the truth. This was not the end, but rather the beginning of an unforeseen chapter. Ellie's confession shattered my world, but silence was not an option for me. Those words, "I had an affair with Grant," reverberated in my mind for days to come. The life I had carefully built, grounded in loyalty and hard work within my marriage, was shattered by one man's arrogance and Ellie's betrayal. But I refused to let it end there. If Grant truly believed he was a real man, he needed to understand how mistaken he was. I wanted to confront him at work that morning and witness his reaction. As I arrived at the dealership, a plan started to take shape in my mind. The words Ellie had spoken the previous night lingered in my thoughts, highlighting Grant's distorted view of leadership. While I believed true leadership centered around sacrifice, honor, and integrity, Grant seemed only capable of deceit and destruction. If his claims of leadership prowess were to be challenged, I was ready to test them. Around noon, Grant made an unexpected entrance at the dealership, exuding confidence in an expensive suit. He entered my office, took a seat across from me, and adopted a posture of superiority. "Caleb," he began in a patronizing tone, "I believe it's time we handle this like real men." His words sparked a fire within me. Shivers ran down my spine as he spoke, but I maintained my composure, sitting silently as he carried on. "We have a connection and understanding," he asserted. "Your life with her is over, Caleb. I can offer her the life she deserves, while you," he paused, shooting me a disdainful look, "are just a lowly car salesman." He slid a thick envelope onto my desk, explaining that it contained divorce papers and a restraining order already signed by Ella. He proposed that if I signed them as well, we could end things amicably. Otherwise, he warned in a lowered voice, he had a team of 20 lawyers prepared to destroy everything I held dear. In that instant, a surge of anger erupted within me like a volcano. I rose to my feet, gripping the table's edge as I leaned in close. "You claimed you wanted to be a real man, didn't you?" I said, my voice steady yet laced with threat. Allow me to show you what a real man truly is. Before he could react, my fist connected with his face, and a crunch ensued, sound as his nose shattered, and he collapsed to the ground. Shock and pain were written all over his face. Listen carefully to what I have to say, I said as he lay on the floor, blood dripping from his face. This is my story, my life. You and Ella destroyed my marriage, but you won't destroy me. If you ever try to threaten me again, it will be the biggest regret of your life. Grant hurriedly got up, left my office without a word, but that was just the beginning. I still had to face Ella and settle this once and for all. When I got home that evening, Ella was sitting in the living room. I will never forget the expression on her face. Whether it was guilt or regret, I couldn't tell. But one thing was certain. My love for her was gone, and living under the same roof as her was unbearable. I need to ask you something, Ella, I said calmly, but with suppressed anger in my voice. After 25 years, all the sacrifices, all the memories, all the effort, it doesn't matter anymore. It no longer makes sense. She lowered. She sat with her head bowed, the room filled with silence. Eventually, she inhaled deeply and broke the silence. Caleb, you have to understand something. I've changed. I'm yearning for more. It feels like I'm stuck in the same place as you, Grant explained. He can provide the life I desire. The mention of Grant made me clench my fists. The life you want. Did you ever communicate that you didn't want this life? Your happiness is paramount to me. Instead of opening up to me, you're living a falsehood, she declared, her expression shifting to defensiveness and a hint of anger. With Caleb, I made a mistake. Yes, but Grant, there's nothing left between us. When he mentioned you hit him in the office, I didn't even defend him. Her confession didn't ease my anger. Instead, it intensified. Grant is no longer the issue. You are. Our marriage is at its end. Elio and I are done, I spoke firmly. My words cut deep, and tears welled in her eyes, but they failed to move me. I had been wiping her tears for years, and now her regret held no sway over me. Caleb, please don't do this. She pleaded. I love you, she said, her voice trembling, but her words rang hollow to me. If you really love me, Ella, I responded firmly, you wouldn't put me through this. With that, the story came to an end. By tomorrow morning, all of your things will be waiting at the door. I've revoked your access to our accounts. Take what you need and leave. We are done. Her panicked expression gave me an odd sense of satisfaction. The woman who had undermined me for so long, searching for other options, was now frantic to find an escape. You can't do this to me, she mumbled. I will get a lawyer and take everything from you. I calmly smiled and pulled out the divorce papers from my jacket pocket. If you sign these, you won't lose anything. The only thing you'll lose is what you're worried about right now. But if you push me, I will push back. You may have forgotten who I am, Ella, but I haven't. I won't let you forget. I saw genuine frustration flicker across her face in that moment. She understood the gravity of my words. She picked up the document and began to read it. Solid light tears filled her eyes, but this time I chose not to reach out and wipe them away. When dawn broke, she had vanished, leaving behind an empty house and a room once alive with joy now saturated in quietness. Nonetheless, amidst it all, a sense of tranquility settled within me. Safeguarding my self-respect and individuality remained my top priority, surpassing all else.